What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I'm sharing with you my second build that I did in Henford-on-Bagley, which is the new world that came with the Cottage Living expansion pack, which, as you all probably know, is the newest expansion pack. And I already told you all about this in my last video, but I am so obsessed with this pack. I think it's so pretty. I love all the things in it. I love the world. The world is gorgeous. And I am having so much fun with this pack. And so yeah, today I'm sharing with you a Generations cottage. I built this for a Generations family, like you can already tell by the title. So it's a little bit of a bigger house. My first house that I shared was also a cottage, obviously, but it was on the smaller side, and this one is actually quite spacious. And I also built this in the town area of Henford-on-Bagley. I think it's called Finchwick town. I don't really know. I don't exactly know what the names of the different neighborhoods are. I always get them confused. I never remember. It's like that for me with all of the worlds. But I think this area is called like Finchwick or something. And yeah, it's the more town area of the world. And you can also find the Finchwick Fair in this area. And so yeah, it's like I said, it's the more downtown area. And it was something a bit different because my first build that I did with this pack was in the more foresty area. Then this one is in the town area. And then my third build that I'm working on, that might be my all-time favorite build that I've ever done. That build I'm doing in the more like countryside area. It's more it's not as foresty over there. I think it's called New Old Henford or something. Like I said, I never really know what those names are, like what the neighborhoods are called, but it's okay. But for today's build, like I said, this is a Generations family home. It's more on the spacious side. And I wanted to build it in the town area because I thought it would be fitting. This house is big, like I said, but it's not on a very spacious lot, as you can see. So I did not have the space, for example, to place a animal shed. I did place a chicken coop, and I also made some space for a garden area. So there are like a lot of outdoorsy things that you can do still in the backyard for this house. But yeah, it's not as much of a farmy cottage as my previous build. However, like I said, still a lot of outdoor activities and things like that. Still very much focused on like outdoor living, which is what this whole pack is all about. I feel like, at least. So yeah, that's what I focused on for this build, and I still wanted this to be very cottagey, so I tried my best. I was working with a reference photo for this build as well that I really enjoyed. It ended up looking nothing like the reference picture, so it doesn't really make a difference if I show you the reference picture, but it's just a little sketch of a house that I found on Pinterest that I really liked. So that was just kind of something that got me started, but it ended up looking nothing like it though, which is usually what happens whenever I build off a reference picture. It's just nice to have something to look at to just get me started. But then like 5 minutes into the build or so, I'll usually just let go of the picture and my own creativity will take over basically. So yeah, that's what happened for this build as well. And I really like the shape of it. It's very boxy. It's nothing crazy complicated or anything. But then again, I feel like those English countryside cottages never really are that complicated. Whenever I look at those builds online, like on Pinterest or Google, they're all very boxy and just not very interesting shape-wise. However, they are very interesting, like with all of their little details and just how pretty they are and their overall vibe. But the shape of them are like the shapes. I haven't really seen any very special like shaped cottages, if that makes sense. Whenever I was looking up inspiration pictures for builds in this world, they seem to be all very basic and very boxy, which is fun and something different. However, in The Sims, I like to try and make my builds a little bit more interesting than just boxes, basically. So that's what I tried for this build as well. This one is still very basic, as you can see, but I did create a couple of little bump outs here and there, a couple of balconies and things like that, to just make it a little bit more interesting. And then for the rest, I tried to use a lot of like flower boxes on the outside of the windows and a lot of little like awnings and things like that, and windows with shutters to kind of create a little bit of like texture on the outside, if that makes sense. Not really, texture is not really the word I'm looking for, I don't think, but just to make it a little bit more interesting and not as flat, basically. So that's what I tried to do for this house as well. And then for the wallpaper on the outside, I did use only brick. I was very tempted to make some like to use wood, like paneling and stuff on some of the little bump outs, but I didn't do that because it's not something I typically see whenever I'm looking at English or British inspired cottages online. They're usually all brick. So that's what I wanted to do for this house. And I think it looks so nice. It looks so pretty and yeah, just very old and very like, it has its own vibe. Like it feels like the houses, those sort of houses have like their own story to tell, basically. They've been around for ages and yeah, they're just very personalized, I feel like. So yeah, that's what I tried to do for this house as well. And as you can see, I was going crazy with all the vines and stuff on the outside. We got so many very pretty vines with this pack, like the little vines with like the purple flowers on it. They have a specific name, however, I can't remember that name for the life of me right now. So I'm just gonna call them vines, even though I'm pretty sure that's not what they're called, but you know what I mean. But I really, really love those. We got a couple of those in the regular Build By catalog, but there are some bigger ones in the debug menu as well for like the corners of your builds and stuff. So I grabbed those out of the debug menu and yeah, they just look so nice. And as you can see, I was going all out with all the vines and the ivy growing on the walls. I did get rid of a little bit of it, as you can see, in the middle part, like on the middle part of the house, if that makes sense. I was going a little bit too crazy. So I told myself, you know what, I might have to delete some of those ivies because it was looking a little bit too messy in my opinion. So yeah, I just deleted a couple and now it just looks interesting enough, I feel like. I think it looks really nice. And for the tiles, as you can see, I was using tiles from, what's it called? The Jungle Adventure Pack. And they go so nicely with this world for some reason because they're a little bit more like worn and a little bit like older looking tiles. They look really nice for older houses like this. So yeah, I really enjoyed using those. I think I changed the swatch for those tiles to a darker swatch if I'm not mistaken, but I think I did that either off camera or just way later. But I do think I swapped it out to just create a little bit of, a more interesting color scheme. Yeah, here you can see that I actually made them darker already, and I think it looks a lot better. It's always such a shame that we never really get the exact tiles or like terrain paint tiles to match the world, like to match the area outside of the lot. It gets on my nerves from time to time. For this build, it was not too bad because I could find tiles in a very similar color and very similar vibe. So it wasn't that bad, but yeah, sometimes it's just so annoying that we don't have matching tiles to the surrounding world. Sometimes it's very annoying. But today, for this build, I was actually fine with it because I could find something very similar. So it was all good. But yeah, like I said, this house is for a generation, like a generation family. Obviously, you don't have to use it that way, but mainly what I mean whenever I say something is meant for a generations family, it just means that there is plenty of bedrooms and 2 bedrooms with a double bed in it. So you could have the grandparents live here as well as the parents, stuff like that. So that's usually what I mean by generations family home, and that's what I did for this house as well. So this house has 1 bedroom on the ground floor, which I thought would be perfect for the grandparents, and then it has, I think, 4 bedrooms upstairs. yeah, it has a main bedroom for the parents upstairs, as well as a bedroom for a kid, then a bedroom for a teenager, and then I furnished one bedroom to be an extra bedroom slash study area. But you could obviously turn that into a full like bedroom for like a toddler or another kid or another teenager. It doesn't really matter. I just went ahead and furnished it as an extra bedroom though, because I thought it would make sense for a house like this. And in my mind, the family living here didn't have like too many children. I was thinking of just two, like I said, like a teenager and a kid. So that's what I furnished it for. But yeah, if you have a family with more kids, you could obviously go ahead and turn the extra bedroom into something else. Or if you wanted to have like an indoor gym or whatever, you could just turn that bedroom into whatever you want, basically. But yeah, you can see that we have moved on to the interior, and here I'm decorating the living area. I was messing around with the layout of a little bit because it was a little bit difficult for me for some reason, this one. Because the shape is a little bit awkward, but I made it work and I think it looks really, really nice. I really love the new couch that we got with this pack. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to use if you're building a smaller cottage, for example, because it is a very big couch. It's a 3-seater couch, and even for a 3-seater couch, it's very big and bulky. So yeah, for smaller cottages, it's a little bit difficult to use. But for a family house like this, it's actually perfect. I love it so much. I think it's so pretty and basic and very, very easy to use in a lot of different builds, I feel like. And then the chairs with this pack are, I think the chair is my favorite item from this pack. Then again, I don't know. There are a lot of items that I love from this pack, but those chairs, like that chair is so pretty. And the flower swatches are my favorite ones. We have 2 flowery swatches, if I'm not mistaken. We have a white flower swatch and then a very light icy blue flower swatch. And I think it's so pretty. It looks just like a chair that you can find at IKEA. And I think it looks so, it's like a classic IKEA chair. You may know what I'm talking about, you may not know what I'm talking about, but IKEA has this like line of furniture that is very, what do you call it? Like very rustic, very countryside vibes, if you know what I mean. It would go very nicely with this build. And so yeah, that chair, it's almost exactly like one you can find at IKEA, and especially in the flowery swatch. And I have always dreamed of having that chair, like owning that chair. I think it's so cute. It's so pretty. It doesn't go with my overall like personal furniture style at all, because me personally, I like more like modern things. Dream home decorator is my personal style in real life, like exactly that. That would be my personal style. So that flowery chair from this pack would not necessarily go with it. It would as like a fun little accent piece, but overall it doesn't really go with it. So it's kind of difficult to combine in real life. So I don't own it. However, I do want to own that chair in real life at some point in my life. And I'm sure it will happen at some point. But yeah, right now I have it in The Sims, and that makes me more than happy. So I can just live vicariously through the game and place that flowery chair in literally every single build that I do from now on, which is probably what will happen too. But yeah, for now I'm okay with it because the pack is brand new, it's all shiny and new, and I'm still allowed to use it. Yeah, so that's that about the chair. I love it so much. But here you can see that we have moved on to the kitchen. I love this kitchen. It's very light. I loved combining this swatch of the Jungle Adventure tiles with the lighter brick from the new pack. I think it looks so nice together. It looks very countryside, very traditional, but at the same time also very fresh and crisp. So that is something that I was really, really enjoying. And I also really love the china cabinet from the new pack from Cottage Living. I think that china cabinet is so cute. It's so pretty. It's very simple, but yeah, very rustic and traditional. And I really love it. And for this build, I was struggling a little bit with the wallpapers because I already touched on this in my previous build that I did with cottage living, but it's such a shame that we didn't get any of the wallpapers in plain swatches with the same paneling. It makes it so difficult to combine because I really wanted to use fun wallpaper in every single room for this build, but it was just gonna be too busy. It was not gonna work. I didn't like it. So I kind of backed away from the very busy looking, very pretty, but very overwhelming looking wallpaper from this pack. So I went for just a base game paint for the dining room, as you can see. I did try to make this whole house very matchy-matchy color scheme wise. So everything definitely goes together, but yeah, it would have been so much nicer if I was able to use a plain swatch of the wallpaper from the new pack with the same paneling. Then it would be a lot more easy on the eyes and a lot more cohesive in my opinion. But yeah, I tried my best to match some like plain base game wall paints with the overall vibe and color scheme of the wallpapers that I went with for this house, if that makes sense. And I think I succeeded, but yeah, it was just something that I really wished we had in this game. I gave this house a nice little sunroom, as you can see, as well. I really enjoyed this sunroom. I just placed a little bench in it, and I basically just turned it into a little skill building area. I placed a chess table in here, and later on, I go back in and I place an easel in here as well. And then I use this planter, decorative planter flower arranging item from Eco Lifestyle because I think it's such a pretty item. It's so beautiful. However, it's not usable. Like, it's not a functional item. It's mainly decorative. So that is a little bit of a shame, but it's okay. If you want to swap it out for the actual flower arranging table, then you could obviously go ahead and do so. But I wasn't really planning on, I don't know, playing in this house with the flower arranging skill. So I just placed the decorative one because I think it's a lot prettier and way more detailed than the actual skill building item. But yeah, like I said, you could obviously just swap it out for the functional one and use it that way, because the sunroom would be a really fun room to go ahead and work on that skill. And it actually makes the sunroom a bit more functional as well, because right now the only functional thing in there is a chess table. However, I did also place an easel later on, so I guess you could work on 2 skills in there if you wanted to. And I also went ahead and placed laundry in this house. You could see that I decorated a very small little laundry room off of the kitchen because I thought it would be very usable and very realistic for a generations house like this in the countryside. So yeah, I just placed a couple of laundry machines. However, I did not place the clothesline outside, which is something that I initially really wanted to do for this house, but I really just forgot about it until right now. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm remembering that I wanted to do that. I never ended up doing that, so that's a shame, but it's fine. I did place a dryer though, so you could just use that. But I thought a clothesline would have been so cute and so realistic for a house like this in the countryside once again. But as you can see, this is the downstairs bedroom, and I was imagining that this bedroom would be perfect for a couple of grandparents or a single grandparent. Doesn't really matter, but I always imagine in my generation's houses, I always imagine the grandparents to sleep downstairs, so that they don't necessarily have to walk up the stairs every single day. And I also placed a full bathroom downstairs as well. And actually, like, it's actually a very spacious bathroom, which I was struggling with a lot because usually I go for as small as possible bathroom-wise. But for this one ended up being quite spacious. But I like how it ended up looking though. I really like how I decorated this in the end, because I really wanted to try and use the new tub from Cottage Living. So I placed it in here, and it was a bit of a struggle because I'm not really used to placing tubs in my bathrooms, which is really silly, but I usually go for just a shower or a shower tub combination. So yeah, it was a little bit of a difficult one for me, but I figured it out in the end, and I think it looks nice. It's a spacious bathroom. It's nothing crazy. But it works. And I also placed a hamper in there because, like I said, I did use laundry in this house, or I placed laundry. So I think I placed laundry baskets in nearly every single bedroom. However, initially I forgot. So I went back in later and placed hampers in all of the bedrooms. I might have forgotten to place one in the grandparents' one downstairs, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't really remember. But yeah, you can really see the downstairs area come together. It's almost finished. I was just messing around with the color of the chair, or not the chair, the staircase for a bit. And then I actually moved on to the upstairs area, and I used carpet in the bedrooms upstairs. I don't know why I did that because I rarely ever do that. I don't really like using carpet. It's not something I'm used to, and I just think wood floors are so much prettier. Usually, it really depends on what kind of style you're going for, but yeah, in my opinion, I just really like wood floors so much better than carpet. However, I chose to go for carpet in the upstairs bedrooms because it was just a nice change of pace, because I'm decorating so many rooms in this house, and nearly every single room has that wood floor that I'm using on the landing area. Basically, all of the house has that same flooring. So because I still had a couple of rooms left to furnish upstairs, I figured, you know what, I might as well just use carpet in here because it's just different and a nice change of pace. So I kind of challenged myself with that one, but I think it looks really nice. I made it work. The color schemes in the bedrooms upstairs are very soft, yeah, I don't really know what else to call it other than soft. It's just very soft, but I think it's really pretty. And the first bedroom I'm furnishing up here is a teenager's bedroom. I was thinking that this teenager would be very much into crafting and also into like hair and makeup. So very creative in that sense. So I ended up placing a desk from Nifty Knitting in here, and also just a little wall decoration from Nifty Knitting, because I figured that the sim sleeping in this bedroom, the teenager, would, like I said, be very crafty. They would also probably be very much into cross stitching. Is that what it's called? Cross stitching, as well as knitting and things like that. So yeah, I just placed a couple of decorations in here. I think I placed the actual cross stitching basket downstairs, if I'm remembering correctly. You could also obviously go ahead and place a knitting basket, because I think I forgot. I wanted to include a knitting basket in this bedroom, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that I actually did that. However, you can just go ahead and do that. Your Sims will end up placing those baskets in their inventory anyway. So if you place them down in your build, it's mainly just for your Sims to pick them up and keep them in their inventory for eternity, basically. Obviously, you could go ahead and place a couple of extra ones for decorative purposes, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. And here you can see that I'm moving on to the kids' bedroom. I really love the color scheme in here. It's very light. I used a beigey carpet in here combined with that white and green wallpaper from the new pack. I love that green color, that soft green. I think it's so pretty. And I just overall love the print of that wallpaper as well. It's so cute. It's perfect for kids' bedrooms and toddlers' bedrooms, but not even just that. Like, you could also use it in a cutesy living room. It really doesn't matter, but for kids and toddlers, I feel like it's just perfect and so cute. So yeah, I placed it in here and I combined it with white wood swatches for the furniture mainly, which I think is really pretty. It's very light and airy in here, and yeah, I don't know, very kid-friendly. Is that a way to describe it? I don't really know. But overall, I just really like how this bedroom ended up looking. I placed a couple of toys in here, a Blarfy, as you can see, and a toy box. Also a doctor set from Parenthood. I think it's from Parenthood. But then after the kids' bedroom, I'm moving on to the parents' bedroom. I like the color scheme in here as well. I like that wallpaper combined with this swatch of the bedding on the bed, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I really like how the colors combine together. This bedroom is nothing special either. It's very basic. This house is not too cluttered, as you can see. It's quite cluttered, but not crazy. cluttered because I was planning on actually using this for my own gameplay, because I have an off-camera Generations or like Legacy family that I'm playing, and I really love that family so much. They are recently, what am I trying to say? They are currently living in Del Sol Valley, because the mom, she is a global superstar. She is an actress, and the dad, he is a global superstar as well. He is a world famous athlete. So they recently aged up into elders though, and their daughter recently aged up to be a young adult. And I really want them to move to Henford-on-Bagley, because I think that the daughter, she would love to live here. She is not into the fame and the rich and the wealthy lifestyle. She doesn't like it at all. She just wants to move to the countryside and do gardening and care for animals, and yeah, just own a couple of chickens and a cow and a llama, stuff like that. Eventually, that's what she wants to do. And they are quite rich because her parents are very famous. They live in a very big house in Del Sol Valley right now that I actually also made a speed build of. And I actually already made that speed build like a couple weeks ago, but I never ended up uploading it still because this pack came out and stuff like that. And I also had a couple of older builds that I wanted to upload first. But yeah, that build is definitely coming to my channel as well pretty soon. So yeah, I built them a villa in Del Sol Valley. But yeah, their life obviously goes on as well, and they are elderly Sims now, and their daughter wants to move here. So I feel like that's what I'm gonna do. However, I'm not sure anymore if I want them to move into this house. I didn't necessarily furnish it for them because they don't have kids or teenagers at this point. So yeah, I didn't necessarily furnish it for them. If I ended up moving them into this house, then I would need to, yeah, just change up some of the rooms and stuff like that, which would not be that much of an issue. But I'm just not sure if I want them to move into this specific house. I may want them to move into the house that I'm currently working on in Henford-on-Bagley in the countryside. It's a little farm, or it's actually not little, it's really big, and I love it so much. It may be one of my favorite builds that I have ever done, and it's not finished by any means. I am working on furnishing the place, and I still have some landscaping left to do as well. It's a very big house, but I love it so much, and I think that house would be perfect for this family that I'm talking about, because I feel like the daughter, she doesn't only want to do gardening and have chickens. She also wants to have a cow and maybe a llama as well. I don't know. But I think that she wants to move to the actual countryside rather than the downtown area of Henford-on-Bagley. As pretty as it is and as peaceful as it is, I think she wants to go for the full-on farm life, which is gonna be a little bit of a culture shock for her parents. However, her parents are still like, they are global superstars and all that, but they're still very like down to earth. And they used to live in just a regular suburban house for the longest time, even when they were already famous. But then at some point they just decided, because they could afford it, they might as well just move into their dream villa in Del Sol Valley. So that's what I did for that generation. But for this generation, basically for their daughter, I want to move them into a house in Henford-on-Bagley. Also because I want to do some gameplay, because I haven't done any gameplay with the new pack just yet, and I think it would be so much fun. It's so nice and peaceful, and I just want to farm in The Sims. I just think it would be so much fun. But yeah, as you can see, I'm working on the backyard for this house. I placed a chicken coop and a gardening area, and I think it's just so peaceful and so cutesy. And this house honestly would be so much fun to live. But yeah, that was actually already it for this video. So let's hop on into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. The lighting for the lots in this part of the world is really not that great because you can't get the sunlight directly at the front of the house. You can only get it at the back of the house, which is a little bit of a shame because for like screenshots and stuff like that, it's nice to have sunlight directly at the facade of the house. But yeah, it's not possible in this part of the world, which is a little bit of a shame, but still the house I feel like looks very inviting and yeah, just very cutesy and fun to play with. But as you can see, I will start off with the backyard. It's not that spacious of a backyard because the house takes up most of the space. However, we do have this very cutesy chicken coop that I actually played with. It has a couple of chickens in it and it desperately needs to be cleaned, as you can see, but that's fine. It's okay. I was just playtesting it and everything works. We have this little bench right here, and here we have one of our chickens. Oh, that's so cute. She is unhappy and starving. Okay, we're just gonna pretend that we did not see that. Over here we have our little gardening area and another decorative flower arranging table kind of thing. Once again, if you want to swap this one out for an actual flower arranging table, then you could easily go ahead and do so. But we also have a nice outdoor dining table right here and an outdoor bin, obviously. But then when we go inside, we have this small little entryway. It's just your classic entryway with an end table and a coat rack and things like that. And then we have an archway that leads into the main living area. And right here, we have the chair of my dreams that I really want to own in real life, which will happen at some point, I'm sure of it. But yeah, we have a couch and just a nice fireplace with a TV. It kind of speaks for itself. And then moving on into the kitchen, I love this kitchen. It's so bright and airy and crisp, and I just like the color scheme in here a lot. I cluttered it up, as you can see, quite a bit. I also used some clutter items from the Country Kitchen Kit in here because obviously that works seamlessly with this cottage living pack. And yeah, we have a little bar area in here as well. And then off of the kitchen, we have this laundry area, which I placed a dishwasher in here, which is a nice little tip for you guys. If you want to have a dishwasher in your house, but you don't think it looks good in your kitchen, because that's what happens for me usually. I just don't like how they look, especially in these more traditional kitchens. I usually try and sneak them into the laundry room if I have a laundry room in that specific house. Yeah, it's just a nice little trick to hide your dishwasher. And then over here we have the formal dining area. I actually forgot to clutter up the shelving unit, which is my bad, but the house is already up on the gallery, so yeah, you can clutter that up yourself if you want to, obviously. And then over here we have the sunroom, which is more like a skill building area. I also placed a couple of planter boxes in here so you can plant some flowers indoors if you wanted to. We have a chess table and an easel, and yeah, it's quite nice. And then over here on this side we have the grandparents' bedroom. I repeated that chair in this room as well because I can't help myself. It's so beautiful. I placed a new bed in here, which I think is really nice as well. I mean, the wallpaper and the bedding might be a little bit much, but for this build and for a house like this, I feel like it's okay. I think that these Sims would really enjoy all of their cutesy prints. And then they have a dresser and some decorations over here, and then that's that for the bedroom already. And then over here we have the downstairs bathroom. It's quite a spacious one. It's got a tub as well as a shower, and then obviously a sink and toilet as well, and a hamper, which is nice. Upstairs we have this landing area, quite spacious landing area actually. And then over here we have a whole bathroom. I didn't actually record the two bathrooms upstairs. This is the whole bathroom, and then the kid and the teenager actually have a Jack and Jill bathroom up here, which is really nice. I always really enjoy whenever I have the space to do with Jack and Jill. I think it's just so fun and something so different. I'm not used to Jack and Jills in real life at all, so whenever I get to create them in The Sims, I always think it's so much fun. But yeah, over here we have the teenager's bedroom. As you can see, this is quite a creative sim. They own a lot of makeup and hair products and things like that, and as you can see, they also really like crafts. And I gave them this little type typewriter laptop, which I think is so cute, and I thought it suited this bedroom perfectly. And then over here we have the kids' bedroom. I really love the color scheme in here. It's very light and white and crisp, but I love the touch of green and the soft colors in the wallpaper. I think it's so nice. But yeah, I just gave them some toys and a little journal as well, so that they have some activities in their bedroom as well. And then over here we have the parents' bedroom. I once again repeated these chairs because I just think they're so beautiful, and like I said, I can't help myself. And here they have their bed. It looks like one of the parents is also very crafty. I did leave a couple of these walls empty, and I did that on purpose because, like I said in the speed build, I was initially planning on using this house for my own gameplay, and I have a lot of family pictures, so I was planning on actually placing pictures on these walls. But yeah, if you want to play in this house yourself, then you can obviously go ahead and take some family pictures as well, and just, yeah, fill up the walls with some personal decorations. And then here we have the extra bedroom slash study area. I really love this bookshelf wall. I think it's really nice and very realistic for a family house like this, to me at least, because as a kid in my parents' house, we used to have a very big bookshelf as well that was all the way filled up with just books and books that we used to read as kids and photo albums and things like that. So yeah, I feel like that's this sort of bookcase as well. And yeah, we have a little desk with a family computer over here, and then that's actually it for this house. So this Generations cottage comes in at 116,579 simoleons, so it's quite expensive, but then again, it is a very spacious Generations home, so I feel like you would be able to afford it if you have a quite wealthy family. The gallery picture looks really sad, as you can see, because there is no sunlight in the front of the house, and that makes it look very sad, but it's fine. The gallery pictures usually aren't really pretty anyway, so I feel like it's okay. But that is actually it for this video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this build. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!